Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. If anybody has any questions, feel free to, any at all. This is your chance. Before I start asking my stupid questions. Anything? All right. Well, the first question that we ask everybody is very in-depth. What are your two favorite pizza toppings from you both?
Uh,
I don't.
I haven't had normal pizza in a long time, but going back to maybe high school days when pizza was more frequent, I was a big fan of a Hawaiian pizza, so I enjoyed ham and pineapple. Just a lot of people frown on that, but that's what it is, right? Ham and
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I would enjoy that, yeah. But
Like you said.
or pepperoni and pepperoncinis.
Olives, I enjoy every now and
Olives
then.
are
Yeah,
just
cheese.
he
was
had
my
an
main-
olive
Yeah.
martini last night, so olives are preference mine.
I did.
So yeah, I guess that's our answer.
No pizza anymore?
Not really, no. I don't mess with a lot of
Staying
dairy.
healthy.
I try. Yeah.
What do you usually, if you're gonna kind of snack out or kind of
Snack out.
kind of cheat? What do
You know, you
what
can
do go
cheat.
to?
You can still. There's a lot of. This ends up being a health interview, but there's a lot of ways
That's all we're talking about.
you can eat, you know, and still have fun. With a lot of different, you know, there's a lot of raw stuff you could have, raw chocolates, and raw desserts that you can find here or there.
Mhm.
That are. I still get my fix in, you know. When I'm at home, there's this raw cinnamon roll I have all the time, and I add raisins, and it's just incredible. I'm addicted to those.
How about you?
But if we're gonna indulge, it's usually a little bit of alcohol, I think.
I go through phases.
Yeah.
I've thrown in the towel recently. I've been eating pizza and things like
Mhm.
that, but other than that, chips.
Yeah. How'd you two meet up?
I met him when I went. I actually met his little sister first. She works at a coffee place near my house that I would go to all the time, and her and I hit it off, and got along pretty good. And then I went to see his band, which is called Iron Tom. I saw them rehearse in their singer's living room because I was interested in maybe producing them. Going full circle, I ended up doing that, put out their record, which is out. I encourage everybody to check it out. It's called Partners. The band is called Iron Tom. They're playing tonight with us. They play first. And then I stole him and made him play in my band. Because I like the right-handed upside down factor. He's got a whammy bar sometimes, so that's fun as well.
Most times I try.
So your road to where you're at now, pretty much being a household name of music, you have your own style. Awolnation is its own style of music. You're so far apart from anything else in the best way possible. But it was a rocky
Thank you
road.
for saying so.
Oh, no, thank you for the music. You know, a lot of your, at least how I take it, a lot of your lyrics, a lot of your music and your overall messages, it takes failures to succeed.
Yeah.
And you went through.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people just jump right
Sometimes
out.
you
You
win the
know?
lottery,
Yeah.
but then you spend it on horrible things.
True. Pizza.
Yeah. What made you go down the road of music when you were a kid?
It was just something I connected with from my earliest memories, and there was a guitar in the house, picked it up. My dad taught me how to play a couple of things. My mom knew just all the sort of, you know, basic chords, taught me those, and something about music always touched me, and I think probably everyone in this room feels the same way, and I guess I was just more relentless to my discovery and attempt at learning more and more, and you know, I grew up in a time where streaming wasn't around, you know, as well. So to find music was not easy. You know, it was word of mouth.
Mhm.
Your buddies would show you a cassette tape, you know, the Beastie Boys or Metallica or Slayer or
Yeah.
whatever it was we were trying to listen to, and that's how you found out about music. It's really cool. So, and that still exists today, but it's becoming harder and harder to find.
Mhm.
So I was just obsessed with it, and then, you know, in high school, when everybody else was partying, we would go to shows and had our own little hardcore band and learn how to make flyers ourselves, self-promote, have a DIY mentality, and so I'm really grateful to grow up in the dark ages of music in a lot of ways.
What was your first band's name?
The ice monkeys.
Um,
Before the Arctic monkeys. in the sea.
Where was your first performance ever?
It was at a backyard party. It was raining. It was supposed to rain. I was hoping it would because I was terrified. I was shaking and shivering the whole day. And I think I was spoiled because from the first, we just did a bunch of like punk rock covers. We played some Operation Ivy songs, a couple Minor Threat songs, Bad Religion songs, and a couple original tunes. One was called The Booger Song, and one was called,
How does that go?
you wouldn't want to hear it, and one was called Rooster Dance.
Yeah.
And anyways, from note one, we had like a nice like combo of music scene kids and surf kids and some jocks kind of all like mixed together. And there were maybe 50 people, which is a great turnout for your first show. And they instantly started moshing. So I felt the power of music, translating into physical activity at an early age. So now when we play shows and people just stand there, it breaks my heart. So I always try my best to get people to sweat and move around.
We should have started moshing.
Sorry?
I said we should have started moshing.
It would have been cool.
Is that why these kind of things are kind of awkward because you're just sitting here?
Well, they're awkward because it's dead silent, right?
Yeah.
And
The lights aren't flickering.
the lights aren't flickering, which, the strobe usually helps me. And, but, we enjoy playing the songs, and these setups are a nice opportunity to, if you can hear my voice, of course, to kind of hone in on the lyrics more and the melody rather than the production and all the loud stuff, right?
And just so you know, from our end, it sounds amazing.
Cool. I feel like there was a bullfrog in my throat the whole time, so just don't mind that.
No, you're good. So you're how old are you when you were in the backyard
The Ice
playing?
Monkeys,
Yeah.
16.
16.
Yeah.
When do you?
I
where-
think my parents snuck in. I think they went in, peeked over. It was really cute. I was
nearby your
embarrassed.
house, right?
It was in TO. It wasn't totally by my house, but it was, like stones
Yeah.
that way. I had a baseball game earlier
Yeah.
that day, and such a weird thing because I was actually like kind of good at sports, but then I just quit that because I wasn't going to be a pro, obviously.
Mhm.
Although I did have an 18 strikeout game in 8th grade as a pitcher.
Oh wow.
7 innings, thank you. And 7 innings, so I only didn't strike out 3 guys, if you think about it. And I threw out the first pitch at a Dodgers game. I threw heat, strike, maybe a little too high. Maybe it would have been a ball, but it looked good to me. And after I was in, this is a little too much information. I was in the restroom, not doing anything gross, but a man next to me, an older gentleman, said, "I've seen a lot of first pitches, and that was the best one I've ever seen." So I'm gonna take that one to the grave. So I still feel like the Dodgers are gonna call me up as a relief pitcher one day. I'm training.
Now, when you hit 18 years old, where are you at in your musical career? What's going on at that moment?
I was in a punk band, the Ice Monkeys. Then we switched into like a much heavier sound. We were a hardcore band, and which is basically like punk rock and metal combined, sort of. And around 18, I think that was the tail end of the hardcore phase, and I think I wanted to start singing and adding melody into the sound, and that was out of high school, so we were just trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, I guess, and I saw it as an opportunity to maybe make it a profession. And there were a few bands in our hometown that were getting record deals, and I thought these bands, I think we're better than them, so we should try to get a deal too. And that may not be true, but a couple years later, I got our first record deal with a band called Hometown Hero. I didn't mean to tell my life story right
No,
now.
that's what this is all
But
about.
yeah, so around 18, I was like, okay, well, college, I'm a terrible student. That's not going to work. I took a couple classes and would just leave when the waves are good to go surfing. Surfing's a huge part of this whole story as well. Yeah, but that was when I started to, we started to take ourselves pretty seriously. Rehearse 6 days a week, 4 hours at a time. I did do that, by the way, Zach. Believe it or not.
I still do that.
I know.
So you hit a number of bumps because you You got signed 2 different times before Awolnation, is that true?
Yeah.
When you get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down and you get back up. How do you continue to keep moving forward?
Probably just by default, I didn't have a backup plan, so I just kept going, you know. And yeah, I had really supportive parents, really supportive friends and family, and so you know, definitely there were people along the way that thought maybe you shouldn't do this anymore. You know, a friend of the family actually pulled me aside and said, "Hey," because he was a drummer back in the day. He said, "Hey, it's okay to quit. You know, my life ended up being good and stuff." And that just pissed me off and made me write more.
Have you seen your writing change since you were in the Ice Monkeys to now Awolnation?
Hopefully it's gotten better.
Yeah.
It's all the same, you know, you come up with an idea and some lyrics hopefully that people can relate to, that you are proud of, and for me it's always been, you know, guitar's always been what I've written with easiest and best. So you know, it's still the same process. I just have experienced a lot more life, so I have more to share, more to say.
When you say in a lyric, probably one of your most popular at the moment, blame it on my ADD, are you speaking for everybody? Are you speaking for yourself? Where does that come from?
That will always be the most popular song
Yeah.
we'll ever have. There's just nothing we can do about it. But I didn't think anyone would hear it. I was talking about myself. You know, it just seemed like a fun, sarcastic thing to say because ADD was being so loosely thrown around. You know, in some cases are more severe than others, but it seemed like it was becoming a default. And I was told I had it, and I was told to take Ritalin, and yeah, I didn't think that was appropriate, so I just didn't do it. I just continued to get bad grades because I was thinking about all these rad songs I was going to write then. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Awolnation sale meme video?
No, I mean they're all cool. The cat one's great,
cat's
obviously.
my
Everybody's great. But yeah, anytime, you know, good or bad, meaning quality-wise, that anyone decides to use any of our songs, even, you know, Run took a life of its own as well with a lot of different vines when that was still happening. It's just incredible that people are listening to these songs.
Yeah, you've become part of culture, part
Yeah.
of the time, over an extended period of time.
It's a weird
That's very
thing.
cool.
It's definitely a weird thing.
Does anybody have any questions?
Would it take some pictures?